close out this match week 23 Sunday in Texas' capital city of Austin. It's home to the West Best this year. Verdos of Austin FC2, Western Conference leaders, welcomes a streaking Sporting Kansas City, two sides to town for their final matchup of 2026. Welcome inside Palmer Field, along with our broadcast team, Jake Griffith. A pleasure to have you alongside us. Austin FC, they're currently off to their best 20-match start in club history. Right now, 13 victories. But the last time they were here at home, they suffered a loss at the hands of Minnesota United 2. Meanwhile, Sporting Kansas City 2 are enjoying only their third win streak since the start of the 2024 season. However, they are winless in 3 consecutive away matches, including the last time they paid a visit here to Austin, Texas. A chance to look at how these sides line up. First for Austin FC2 and manager Jason Shackle. It's a 4-3-3, an eye on the defensive side of the 4-3-3. They make 3 personnel changes across this 11, including the return of Micah Burton, who will start up front next to Eric Feliciano and Stefan Dobrijevic. Being proactive will be key today for this Austin FC2 side within this 4-3-3 shape. Jason Shackle, looking back at their last match against San Jose Earthquakes, thought they could have been a little bit more proactive with the ball, and by bringing Micah Burton back in on that right wing, that will be key on the offensive side of things. 22 career goal involvements in his MLS Next Pro career for Micah Burton, the native of Minnesota. They're going to try to use this inherent width of the 4-3-3 to try to stretch the Sporting Kansas City 2 side out horizontally. They want to try to fill those gaps. It's an Austin FC 2 side that can really use the long direct ball to their advantage, and they'll try to do that again against Sporting Kansas City 2, who, under the direction of Lee Tshantret, they go with a 4-3-3. It's an unchanged 11 compared to what they fielded last match week 22, with a big win against Houston Dynamo Dos. Staying compact will be so crucial today for Sporting Kansas City 2. An eye on Gael Quintero there on the right side of that middle 3 next to Zamir Loyal Renaga. He played a holding midfield role against Houston Dynamo Dos, and that holding midfielder is very important in this 4-3-3 shape. Shielding those center backs, he's going to try to keep this defense organized and compact today for Sporting Kansas City 2. Third and final matchup of 2026 between SKC2 and Austin FC2, who have won both matchups this season, including a 3-0 result in their first meeting of the season, a 2-1 victory the last time these teams met in June. They're unbeaten in 9 straight, Verdos are, against the Sporting Kansas City 2 side, who line up in the light blue tops. It's Austin FC in the black and green striped kits. Jorge Medina, our center referee, sounds the whistle, and we are underway on a drizzly and rainy Sunday evening here in Austin, Texas. That ball thumped out of play, and SKC2 will use that opportunity to get their defense set. Floated along and forward, and SKC2 will clear that one out of play for an Austin FC2 throw-in over on that far touchline. A 1-1 draw was the result on the road at San Jose Earthquakes 2 last time out for Jason Shackle's team, and he reflected on that 1-1 draw earlier in the week. This defender goes sliding down. That is Alex Cunningham able to knock that ball out of play. Did glance off the Austin FC2 man on its way out, so it will be an SKC2 throw. But for Austin FC2, Jason Shackle, very complimentary of San Jose Earthquakes 2, said he thought they played really, really well, loved the way the Verde and Black defended their own penalty area in that 1-1 draw, a match that they went up 1-0 in the 32nd minute, allowed the equalizer in the 53rd. Ultimately, were able to hang on for the extra point in the shootout, 4-3. But he said more importantly, it gave Austin FC2 a lot to think about in terms of their in-possession and out-of-possession shape down the stretch of this season. Felt like they invited a little too much pressure in that contest against Quakes 2. Meanwhile, the Sporting Kansas City 2 side, under Lee Tshantret, a massive win against Houston Dynamo Dos, a 3-2 victory
went down a goal less than 20 minutes into that contest. There was a red card handed out that forced Houston Dynamo to play down a man in that match for a really long stretch of time. But Sporting Kansas City 2 were able to rattle off 3 unanswered goals before Houston Dynamo Dos pegged a goal back late in the contest. Knotted down into the path of Patrick Kaeli, the 77th pick in the most recent Super Draft after spending a collegiate career in the Ivy League at Penn. One back by Sporting Kansas City 2. And they will reset things and try to slow the tempo just a little bit. Cut back over to Jacob Molinaro. 12th start of the season for the 19-year-old in net for Sporting Kansas City 2, and promptly repossessed by this Austin FC 2 side. Turned over. SKC2 transitioning into the attack. Maybe we'll cut that one out wide. Hanging around the edge of that area on the far side are the visitors. On the underlapping run, the cut back in front falls top of the area. This is Loyal Renaga. The layoff fired into the netting behind goal and out of play. Alex Cunningham, the former Sporting Kansas City Academy defender, having a go at that one from distance. Austin FC 2 having some trouble progressing fluidly through the midfield right now. Takes a ricochet off the defender. And Verdos will steer this one back to Eric Loda, the California native, former Huntsville City netminder a season ago before coming over in January of 2026. Played very well in net, Eric Loda has. 16 prior appearances, 6 clean sheets, 46 saves. And now here comes Austin FC 2. Jules Berry trying to clip this one along into the path of Jacobaro, wearing the captain's armband. Steered forward now. Gonzalez. Back over to the native of Cote d'Ivoire, Jacobaro. 18th start of the season for number 6 there on the left side of your screen for Austin FC 2. Player that Jason Chaco was very complimentary of when we had a chance to catch up earlier in the week. Really praised his ball handling ability, especially in tight situations. They tried to roll that one over toward Eric Feliciano, the 16-year-old, out of his reach, and a change of possession will occur via the throw-in. Feliciano back in possession of it for Austin FC 2, one of a number of high-rising youngsters out of the academy systems for these respective teams. Good look at the future on display of MLS Next Pro. Players like Feliciano, Zamir Loyal Renaga, who debuted last year, just 14 years old. He's really come on in his 10 prior appearances and become an important part of Sporting Kansas City 2, getting his 5th start of the season today for SKC2. Meanwhile, Alex Cunningham couldn't straddle the stripe, and it will be a throw in here for Kaeli. First team all Ivy League selection is Patrick Kaeli in his final collegiate season, as it's flung over to Evan Watt. Ayala elected to give it up. Austin FC 2 will recycle this ball and build out from the back. Feliciano appeals from him for a foul, go unanswered from Jorge Medina. SKC2 trying to negotiate for some space in that central area of the pitch. Barry under duress, able to come out of a tight space with that. Kashawn Hines was applying the pressure. Hines, the 17-year-old, bagged a brace last match week against Houston Dynamo Dos. Big reason why SKC2 were victorious. Trying to make it 3 consecutive wins, Sporting Kansas City 2 are, for the first time since August 13th through 25th of 2023. Now they'll turn this one upfield. Trying to pick out Shane Donovan on the right. Knocked out of play by Kaeli, former Greenville Triumph Academy man of USL League One. And Donovan elects to defer over to Cunningham, the Missouri native, for the throw back in. Pierre Leroux cut it back over to Jacob Molinaro, and Leroux, 41 in light blue, was a player that Lee Tashantret picked out when we chatted earlier in the week. Players like Leroux, like Gael Quintero, have really grown a lot the last few weeks, in the words of Sporting Kansas City 2's first-year manager. They do turn it over, though. Kaeli, the South Carolina native, with the throw. Dobriovic hounded into a turnover. Off to the races now is Kashawn Hines, trying to carve an opening here. Still Hines through traffic. Hines on his left. Defender goes to ground. Well timed. That was Jules Berry able to dislodge that ball. SKC2, though, undeterred. Stuck in. They win a whistle, and it will be a free kick here. Light blue shirts of SKC2 will crowd the penalty area here. Floated in on the restart. Out wide. Leroux puts it in front, deflected out of play. It'll stay here. SKC2 win themselves their first corner of the night. It's a dangerous ball, floated in out wide, catching the boots of Pierre Leroux. And a quick trigger to put that across the face of goal. Just twice this year, SKC2 have scored off corners. Misael Rodriguez will steer this in. Out swinging ball. Heads go up. Pinballing around inside that area. Now Austin FC2 trying to break out, will hack that one clear. Some issues here for Sporting Kansas City 2, playing out of their own end of things. Austin FC2 will jump on a turnover here. Barrow rolls at top of the area. Dobriovic steps past the second defender. Just to clip this one back to a teammate. Still in possession are the Verde and Black. Barrow up ahead. Dobriovic shot is blocked. It'll carry him out of play. And Austin FC2 will now get their first corner. Verdos have been dangerous on set pieces this season. They have just 2 corner goals to their credit in 2026, but 7 overall set piece goals. Jason Chackle said this week that it is something that this team, they want to be a productive set piece team on both sides of the ball, a top 6 team in terms of set piece goals scored. They have the short option in over on that far flag. Elect to then in-swing this ball over to the near post, and it will go bouncing out of play. One back at the midfield by Kaeli. Hugging that near touchline, knocked away from him. Won't matter though, it'll stay in Austin's possession. Feliciano receives the throw in. Floated back and behind. On it now is Austin FC 2. The cutback in front from Kaeli, deflected out of play. Went off the head of the Sporting Kansas City defender. And Jorge Medina running over to just make sure everything is all good there. Nonetheless, it will be an Austin FC 2 corner. Their second already in the last almost 2 minutes. Fired in, short side, and dealt with ease by SKC2 defensively. That is where Kaeli will run all the way back to track it down and steer it over to Eric Loda. 6 combined saves in 2 prior appearances this year for the 22-year-old against Sporting Kansas City 2. Had a 5-save outing in the 3-0 victory. Dobrijevic dropping in to assist the build-out here for Austin FC. And now they go forward with it. They find Kaeli. His pass out of the reach, though, of Gonzalez, the 22-year-old. Visitors with the throw in to resume play. James Barry steps in front. Now Austin FC will settle back in on possession. Jason Shackle, he reflected on the first 2 matchups of the season between SKC2 and Austin FC2. And he was pretty upfront. He said, look, yes, we won both of those contests, but nothing came easy for us, even in that 3-0 victory, as they'll cut this one forward over to Feliciano, who nods it along. This portion of the match brought to you by O'Reilly, official auto parts partner of Austin FC 2. Barrow looking to switch the point of the attack. Does that successfully. Good first touch from Feliciano. Feliciano from distance rings it off the near post. The 16-year-old, former rising star of the match week back in match week 11, almost grabbing a highlight reel goal. Navigating around, cutting to his right. Had his eyes on his 4th of the season, not to be had. Denied by the near post, and we stay scoreless. Going back to Jason Shackle, though, and talking about facing Sporting Kansas City for the 3rd time this year. One of the things he picked out was you go all the way back to that first matchup of the year, and he said the scoreline doesn't reflect just how good SKC2 were in that contest. He praised his team, though, because he said it was sort of early in the evolution of this current roster. Didn't feel like they had their best day. That they underwent in their starting 11, and he said despite that chemistry, we just found a way to get across that finish line. But he complimented SKC2 and said they defend the ball so well. You can't get hung up on some of the results they've had this year. Their rotations are so good. We're already seeing some of that early on in this contest, less than 20 minutes in. The way that out of possession, SKC are constantly rotating. Press almost bears fruit there for SKC too. The last minute, Jorge Medina sounds the whistle, and it will be a foul against Kashawn Hines. Hines waiting, then finally running down Jules Berry. Going in a little too fast on Berry, colliding into him. Trying to alleviate some pressure, and Austin FC2 will do exactly that. Finding space here up this left flank. Feliciano has the overlap, the cutback in the area. Cycled around, they find Jacobaro, and now back they go over to Gonzalez. Feliciano knocked down, that will be a whistle. Highlighted Micah Burton at the top of the broadcast, making his 12th start of MLS Next Pro play. Haven't really been able to work it over to him over on that right flank. Austin FC, they favored this left side early on in this contest, less than 20 minutes in. Jason Chackle wasn't sure he would have the services of Micah Burton today. Wasn't expecting to have him. They don't have Irvin Torres, no Jorge Alastue. Austin FC first team, they are in action in phase 2 of Leagues Cup play against Puebla over at Q2 Stadium later tonight. This one on the restart, flung in and hacked away for a short clearance by SKC2. Looking for that service in, blocked out. There is the aforementioned Micah Burton. He will have the throw in for Austin FC. He was on the bench in the Leagues Cup opener against Tijuana, the 2-0 victory for the Verde and Black. Charlie Farrar, Jorge Alastue on the bench as well in that contest. Alastue saw 7 minutes as a sub. Micah Burton did not come on in that contest. Rolled back and behind, here's Dobrijevic toward goal. Goes over the bar and out. It's good ball work here, though, from Austin FC. Using the middle of the pitch to their advantage. That quick delivery from Christian Ayala. Able to find the 47th overall pick in the Super Draft. Former Akron man, Stefan Dobrijevic. Dobrijevic really heating up over these last few weeks in MLS Next Pro. 3 goals in his last 5 appearances. Turned over. Leading the charge here is Hines. Stepping forward, though, was Jules Berry to knock that one away. One thing that stands out when you go back and watch that win for SKC against Houston Dynamo Dos, their press was very ferocious. They were able to speed Houston up into some turnovers. In fact, 2 of their 3 goals scored in that 3-2 victory came off the counterattack. And despite some difficult results over the course of 2026, Lee Tashantret's side, they have been able to use that counter to their benefit. 8 counterattacking goals across the course of the season. Whipped ahead. Knotted away by SKC2. And there is Shane Donovan running all the way back to clean things up for the visitors. Miscommunication there. And that will be another turnover for Sporting Kansas City. Here's Eric Loda again. He'll roll it forward to Jules Berry. Getting Eric Loda involved in distribution is something that Jason Shackle has been adamant about over the course of the season, as that ball will come to rest out of play. And SKC2 will have the goal clearance to resume things. Shackle was very pleased with the way his netminder and Eric Loda has been able to use his feet, get involved when building out from the back. Meanwhile, here comes Sporting Kansas City 2. Quintero. Now Blaine maybe. LaRoe, former Michigan Wolverine collegiately. And his second season with Sporting Kansas City 2. Jacobara will come out of a crowd with that ball. He'll turn this one upfield. Too heavy of a first touch, though, by Feliciano. Flying in was the Austin FC 2-man, and now Alex Cunningham, the 19-year-old, will go down. And that will draw a whistle from Jorge Medina. This portion of the match is brought to you by SHI, official partner of Austin FC2. Now Verdos pressing in that 3-2 style shape. And it has caused some issues for Sporting Kansas City 2 when trying to build. Press will come up with a takeaway here, courtesy of Eric Feliciano. And Sporting Kansas City 2, they answer right back with a takeaway of their own. Now breaking out is SKC. Cycling this ball around. It comes to rest at the feet of Loyal Renaga. Now whipped in, deflected away. Rodriguez will head it toward goal. And Loda is there, snugging that far stick. Staying with it is Misael Rodriguez, former Town FC man, Chicago Fire product as well. Cross was deflected, it didn't matter, still was able to get a chance off. And Sporting Kansas City 2 with a shot on target. At their first of the contest, first for either side. Austin FC 2 did have a chance earlier in this half that went ricocheting off the near post. Generating shots on target has been a difficult task for Sporting Kansas City 2 in their two prior meetings with Austin FC 2. They've won the possession battle in both games, just haven't been able to make much of that advantage in possession. 7 combined shots on target, despite 23 combined shots overall in the last 180 minutes against Austin FC 2. Nifty move there to free up space. At the end line, the service finds Loyal Renaga, headed down, trickles wide. Eric Loda might have got a piece of that one, as it'll stay here. A brilliant header down, an even better save there from Eric Loda, batting it off the goal line. Second corner of the day. In swinging ball, Loda there with the punch. Shane Donovan will pick the pieces up, and Sporting Kansas City 2 content to cycle this all the way back to Jacob Molinaro. Tried to play it out wide. Shane Donovan, as hard as he ran back, just couldn't catch up to it. And somewhat of a wasted possession there if you're Sporting Kansas City 2. Rolled forward by Jules Berry and corralled in by Adrian Gonzalez. Tightroping the touchline there was Kaeli. Under duress, though, Gonzalez is able to steer clear of the pressure applied by Gael Quintero. And now space to move here for Ayala. Acres of space at that. Ayala from distance, stopped by Molinaro. Seeing some intentionality behind what Austin FC want to do as we come up on the half-hour mark elapsed. And that balance is very important today for Jason Shackle's side. When he complimented Sporting Kansas City too and how they defend as we get a whistle here. Could be more. And it will be more. A yellow card will come out of the pocket of Jorge Medina. That will be shown to Adrian Gonzalez. Former Mexico Youth National Team U19. That will represent the first booking of this contest as Adrian Gonzalez will be shown a yellow. Going back to Austin FC, though, their balance is something that Jason Shackle implored his team to focus on in the midweek leading up to this contest. One of the things he said when we chatted was, where Sporting Kansas City defends well, if we rush, they can make us pay. They have that ability, so we just have to slow things down, be very choosy about when we go forward. You'll see Austin FC, a lot of times they will just end up recycling that ball and electing to rebuild from the back. Telegraphed pass, turned over by SKC2. Short-lived, though. Blaine Maybe running that ball all the way down. Rodriguez cuts it back in front. Fumbling around with it was Hines. And ultimately, Lodo will sprawl on top of it. Here's the Frenchman, Jules Berry. Whistle down was Gonzalez. Advantage is played. Steered out wide. It's Feliciano on the left. Feliciano, the layoff through that half space. Wanted Berry. Instead, Pierre Leroux will come up with it. Now toppled from behind. Quintero goes down, and this will be another yellow. It'll be the 22-year-old Jules Berry being handed a booking. Keep an eye right there at the bottom of your screen. Quintero had outrun the defender. And Berry just diving in from behind. You're always putting your fate in the hands of the officials when you go in from behind like that. And Jorge Medina will hand Austin FC 2 another yellow card, second of the contest. This portion of the match is brought to you by Siete, official partner of Austin FC 2. Driven ahead by Sporting Kansas City 2. They will corral that ball in over on that far touchline. Now the real work beginning here. It seems like Sporting Kansas City have spent a lot of time in this end of things. You wouldn't be wrong. 82 of their 136 passes completed have been in their own half of things. This time Molinaro tries to go long with it, and Austin FC were ready for it. But it down by Gonzalez. Trying to roll it in behind was SKC2. They will earn a throw in out of it. Here's Cunningham, wasting no time. Loyal Renaga elects to give it up. Well crossed the half-hour mark elapsed. Still no score in this contest. Both teams have had their fair share of chances, though. Sporting Kansas City with 2 shots on target, a pair of good saves from Eric Loda. Meanwhile, Jacob Molinaro has made a stop as well. Slipped ahead. Here's Feliciano roaming around with it. 2 career international caps for the U.S. U16 national team, 37 in verde and black. Here he is now, ridden down centrally, and this will be a free kick for Austin FC 2. This is the part of their set-piece game that they've been so deadly on. 5 free kick goals over the course of 2026. Jason Shackle said it's an area that's an important part of the game in the modern day. They put a lot of emphasis on it. He did say that this isn't the biggest team in terms of height, so he challenges his Austin FC side. Play bigger than we are in this area of the game. It'll be Gonzalez shadowing over top of this ball for Austin FC. They've come close. They hit the post earlier in this contest. Trying to find that breakthrough. Gonzalez to take. It's Gonzalez! Parried over the bar by Molinaro and out of play for a corner. It's just a delightful take on the free kick. That one looked like it was marked for goal, but Molinaro coming up big again. Third corner of the night loading here for Austin FC 2. In swinging ball, the heads go up, and it's headed out of play by Evan Watt. Watt is still down outside the boundary line behind Molinaro's goal. Slow to get back to his feet. You can see him hobbling there back down the pitch. Watt, the February 2026 acquisition by this Austin FC side. It's been an important piece on the defensive side of things for Austin FC 2. Leads the team in defensive contributions per 90 minutes with 7 per match. Play is back underway. SKC2 pinned back deep, and that won't do anything to remedy that. Turned over, and out comes Loda. Two saves in this opening 45 minutes for Austin FC's netminder, and now looking for that diagonal ball. They find it over to Feliciano. The layoff connecting with Gonzalez, who turns. Gonzalez floats this back stick. Bit too much weight behind that ball as it goes sailing out of play. To Santret, he highlighted that ability of Austin FC to be able to use those diagonal switching balls to really unlock their offense, as this will carry them all the way back toward Eric Loda. Emphasize the importance of taking that away from Austin FC. There's a heavy focus today on Sporting Kansas City's weak side, 7 and 11. Making sure they're locked in at all times, knowing where that ball is, knowing where their man marker is at. That's an area that Austin will undoubtedly try to exploit as this contest continues to carry forward toward the conclusion. Getting late into this first half where we still have no score, despite both teams with a pair of shots on target. Another whistle for a foul against Austin FC. Bodies crashing into one another near that midfield stripe. And this will ultimately go down as a foul against Sporting Kansas City, too. And now the two managers, Jason Shackle and Lee Tesantret, exchanging some words over there on that far touchline. It has been a physical opening half. We have seen 2 yellow cards doled out by Jorge Medina, but the foul count continuing to grow. More on that in a moment. Cunningham will pick the pocket there. Feliciano now gets it back. Connecting on the interchange with Shane Donovan. Left off. Leo Renaga trying to clip this one in behind. And there is Loda. Quick off his line. That's an area that Jason Shackle has challenged Eric Loda to grow a little bit in. The command of his box. Dobrijevic now on the other end of that ball from Feliciano. Here's Dobrijevic. Dobrijevic deflected, falls to Gonzalez, and knocked away defensively by Sporting Kansas City, too. Barry booms this one over the top, and again, too much weight behind that ball. Despite that has been a strong point for Austin FC in this contest to this juncture, completing 64% of their long passes forward. Sporting Kansas City 2 will come up with a throw-in. It'll be Daniel Russo, former Vancouver Whitecaps 2 defender, with the toss back into play, and promptly given back to Austin by Sporting Kansas City. Less than 5 minutes plus added time to go until we get the halftime whistle from our center referee. No score to this point. Austin FC in possession, trying to remedy that. Dobrijevic gives it back up. Here's Chacabaro. Now in his second year with Austin FC too. Burton will turn it back out wide. This is where Austin FC have been at their best in 2026, when they can get that back line high into the attacking half. Just keep their foot on the gas pedal. Slipped inside. Here's Ayala. Top of the area. Wanted Gonzalez. Pass was behind him. Cleared away by Sporting Kansas City. Kayeli forward. Gonzalez, who commits the foul. That'll draw another whistle from Jorge Medina. Gonzalez, one of those 2 players for Austin FC, currently on a yellow. You go back, though, to that spell of possession in the attacking half for Austin FC, and you just saw there was not a lot of places to go with that ball. That's something that Lee Tesantret had said this week, that he feels like the biggest area of growth these last few weeks has been defensively. They're making it difficult for teams to get quality chances on target. And he feels like that's been credited to their ability to stay calm in decisive moments. A blocked shot, a clearance, to just get that ball away. Here's now Shane Donovan coming back the other way. Misael Rodriguez with it, lays it off. Maybe Cunningham. Russo funnels it back wide. They lay it off. In behind, Rodriguez at the end line. Kick save made by Loda. Rebound coughed up. It's not clear yet, and Ayala will take care of that for Verdos. Now a chance here for Austin FC to tilt the field in their favor. SKC2, though, able to hoof that away. Barry will step up. Elects to find Kaeli, who will advance this ball. Didn't like his options. Peeled back over to Jules Barry. Spent some time in the AS Monaco Academy before making his way to Austin, Texas. Slid centrally. Dobrivich thought about the shot. Now plays it into the path of Gonzalez. This cross swung out wide. Nodded away, falls edge of the area. Burton puts it in front, deflected away. Not clear though. Barrow able to pick the pieces up for Austin FC. Here's Chishla to Burton, back to Chishla. Funneled back forward, Kaeli on the left. Austin, they've tried to move this ball side to side as often as they can when in possession, hoping to over-rotate the Sporting Kansas City side. SKC2, they just haven't bit yet in this contest. Switching pass, initially pulled in by Austin FC2. SKC2 come up with it, a collision here. It's Gonzalez involved in it. Jorge Medina walking over and having a stern word with number 8 in Verde and Black. Now look at it right in the center of your screen. Donovan was trying to track back to pick that ball up. And ends up clattering into Adrian Gonzalez, who's shown a whistle. Fourth official indicating just 1 minute of added time at the end of this first 45. Make sure to stick with us for our halftime report. Jam-packed halftime report. We'll head to Charlotte to recap the MLS Next All-Star Game. Also to Chattanooga, Tennessee to catch up with Chattanooga FC highlights, upcoming schedule as well. Moreau back to Molinaro, who swings this one forward. And we get a whistle. Right on cue, Jorge Medina whistles for halftime. A hard-fought first 45 minutes in the books, no score at the break. Coming up in our halftime show, we look back at the MLS Next All-Star Game, plus the upcoming August schedule and first half highlights, all when we return.
Back in Austin, Texas, no score at the half. We head to Charlotte for a closer look at the MLS Next All-Star Game and Skills Challenge, as well as a look at Chattanooga FC's newly promoted manager, Richard Dixon.
What's going on, guys? Moises Linares here in Charlotte, North Carolina for the big MLS All-Star Game. And as you can see behind me, anticipation's already building. But before we can even talk about the big game, how about we take a look at some of the best moments during MLS All-Star Week, including the MLS Next All-Star Game, which features some of MLS Next Pro's brightest stars. Things in Charlotte kicked off with the MLS Next All-Star Game, where we got a glimpse of the game's future stars who faced off at Mecklenburg County Sportsplex. A 7-goal thriller that saw Team East take care of business versus Team West with a 6-1 victory. Less than 20 hours after scoring for Crew 2, Columbus Crew's Jamil Danjaji hopped on a flight to Charlotte and found the back of the net again.
Towards goal and through! Jamil Danjaji makes it 2-0 in the blink of an eye.
Nashville SC and Huntsville City forward Liam Stribling also found the back of the net for the East.
Nashville man, Stribling's got some space here. Stribling puts it through! How good is that?
And Crown Legacy's Daniel Brown would complete the scoring for Team East.
A good punch out. Fila. Oh, distance! Fizzer is through. Brown, the hometown product.
The West would pull one back, but ultimately it wasn't enough to overcome the East.
This is a celebration of all their hard work. So many of these guys not only had great individual seasons, they performed well for their team, but what we're starting to see, which is also so cool, is when we talk about pathway, is these players not only do well for their academy team, but most of them have already started to feature for Next Pro, which is that not only the next step for them in their own development, but it continues that aspiration to get to the highest level.
Obviously, it's a wonderful event. It's such a privilege to be chosen for this. It takes years and years of training and experience for any player to get caught up into this. So congratulations to everybody that's got caught into this and everybody's family to experience the welcome of being able to participate in this event.
I mean, it's a learning experience. I'm just happy to be here. I'm gonna keep going, keep training, and keep my head down and be grounded.
Before the game, we also caught up with president of MLS Next Pro, Ali Curtis, who talked about the evolution of the pathway MLS has created.
We've got a great collection of players here today. It's a great evening. It's a great event that we're fortunately able to be supported by our partner in Allstate, and we've got a great number of talented players here. So it's a great addition and a great player development moment.
Just crazy to see how far the league has come. And it's just a beautiful thing, right? Now we have 30 teams, so many more stadiums, new stadiums being built. The academy wasn't around in 2009. Now we have a full-blown academy, and to see the talent that we have here tonight is just spectacular. And so it just tells me that we're all moving in the right direction. We're continuing to move this game forward in this country with the World Cup. Everyone's excited. And now we just have to continue to help encourage and support these kids.
Here at Bank of America Stadium, MLS All-Stars lead Liga MX 3-1 after 45 minutes. A great performance in the first half. And speaking of great performances, some of MLS Next Pro's very best goalkeepers and field players took part in the Skills Challenge. That includes Goalie Wars and also the Crossbar Challenge.
I'm trying to get that assist in. Oh, he's cooking me alive. Those low ones killed me.
Hey, we got the Tuesday morning saw the MLS Next Pro players take on actor Danny Ramirez in Goalie Wars. The Hollywood star even banged this golazo.
Bonus ball! He got the ball!
later, MLS Next Pro goalkeeper Will Mackey and defending champion Pedro Cruz kick things off, going head-to-head.
Okay, here we go for two. Can he score? Oh, he does! Pedro Cruz with a clutch effort.
Houston Dynamo's Pedro Cruz would emerge victorious, moving on to the semifinals, where he faced Mexican national team in Pachuca's goalie Carlos Moreno.
Carlos Moreno to win it. Can he do it? Moreno! Get up! Get up! Get up! Take it! Take it! Take it! Oh! Pedro Cruz!
Scores, he wins.
Oh, that's it. That's it. He's done it. Pedro Cruz advances.
Cruz took care of business against Moreno, advancing to the final where he squared off versus World Cup goalkeeper Maxime Crepeau.
Let's go! Come on, Pedro! Let's go! Come on! Game on! Gotta stop him! And Maxime Crepeau is the winner of the All-Star Goalie Wars!
Cruz would come up just short of defending his crown, but would win the admiration of Orlando's Crepeau, who was impressed with what he saw.
It's fun. I talked to him right away. I was like, honestly, if you kept the balls a little bit lower and on the surface, you had me, because he was so powerful that you don't have the chance to get there almost at this distance.
Estoy muy contento. El otro arquero es muy bueno, una persona muy buena. Pude conocer él poquito. Él habló que hoy está yendo bien. Una persona buena y muy bueno. Dividir la cancha con él.
Goalkeepers weren't the only ones in action. The crossbar challenge saw North Texas SC Erunis face off against former MLS Next Pro star Xavier Gozo, taking on some big names like Evander and Javier Ruiz from Club Necaxa.
Representing MLS Next Pro. We see the young superstars emerge to Major League Soccer. North Texas is a great pipeline for FC Dallas.
Let's go, Nice. You're almost there.
There it is. Oh, there it is! For MLS Next Pro! What a story this could be!
Gozo would also make it to the final, but would come up just short versus Ruiz, who would go on to win the competition. An experience that has left a positive mark on both players.
This will be fun to have in your backyard, so I think it was just fun kick around and really enjoyed it.
3 days of MLS All-Star action culminated here at Bank of America Stadium, with MLS All-Stars pulling a 4-3 win against Liga MX, a game that saw a handful of MLS Next Pro alumni make their All-Star debut, a major milestone for the league. Signing off from the Queen City, Moises Linares.
I had a meeting with Rich, and I let him know that he was going to be our choice moving forward. So,
thank you guys. First of all, thank you for your commitment to the club, your commitment to each other, and your commitment to just excellence. Right? Because that's what we're aiming for, is excellence.
Yeah, thank you, the player. Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's something that I've been looking forward to ever since I retired, always.
Conversation on him becoming the interim.
Good session, look after yourselves. Better together! Thanks, boys.
Back in Austin, Texas, it's the halftime break between Austin FC 2 and Sporting Kansas City 2. No score to be had through 45 minutes of play. Glad to have you with us, Jake Griffith, and with our broadcast team. This brings a close to our Match Week 23 Sunday, but Match Week 23 will roll on through the midweek here as we take a look at our upcoming schedule. Monday and Tuesday night action in Match Week 23. Things will pick back up on Wednesday, August 12th for Match Week 24. The Western Conference will shift back into focus. Real Monarchs and Minnesota United 2 will do battle with each other, and that's a crucial match with playoff implications written all over it. Minnesota United right now on the outside looking in, but narrowly just 1 point. Real Monarchs, they are 5 points back of that final playoff spot. Well, that's the action to come. For our action currently, let's get
catch up to speed with our halftime highlights between Sporting Kansas City and Austin FC. Both teams have had some good looks at goal early on, including this free kick here for Sporting Kansas City. It's put back in front by Pierre Leroux, knocked out of play. SKC2 would not score on the ensuing corner. Later in the first half, lining this one up with Eric Feliciano, ringing that one off the post, and that would deflect back away. Then Stefan Dobrijevic goes for goal, just catching a little bit of the woodwork there on its way out of play. It would stay 0-0. Then SKC2 would come down, and this was the best save of the opening 45. Eric Loda pulling that header off the line. This from distance on the free kick late in the first half. That one from Adrian Gonzalez, parried away by Jacob Molinaro, and that is where we stand through 45 minutes of play. No score. We'll head back to break. Second half kick when we return to Texas.
Should be a fun season of MLS Next Pro. Oh my! Pedrinho wins it!
Yeah, boys hear sentiment, flow tastes sweet like cinnamon. Open up doors, I'm a gentleman. View top floor, I'm still staying ahead of them. Running on fumes and adrenaline. Do what I do best, can't rush in like a roulette. You can't name a better duet. Don't ask questions, trying to figure out what sound. Don't worry about what next, just wanna know what's next. Man, I say it so loud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now. Oh yes, man, I say it oh so proud. Don't worry about what next, just know we got now.
The unique energy of a Sunday night. Ideal for calm music, whispers, stargazing, reflection, and a relaxed environment. Sunday nights were made for this.
Almost go time for the second 45 minutes here at Palmer Field in Austin, Texas. Austin FC 2, Sporting Kansas City 2. 45 minutes down, 45 minutes to go to find a winner in this contest. No score through one half of play. Both teams out of the halftime dressing room. The sun is officially set. The rain has moved out of the area, and we are almost ready for the final 45 minutes. Austin FC, Sporting Kansas City 2, each with 2 shots on target in that opening 45 minutes. Both keepers making a pair of fine saves in the first 45. Austin FC making 2 changes to open up this second half. Diego Abarca will come on, and he will be joined by Marcel Russell. Between the 2 men that just subbed on, 4 of Austin FC's 5 goals against Sporting Kansas City 2. On the pitch now, Abarca 3 combined goals across 2 appearances against SKC2. Russell has a goal against Sporting Kansas City here in 2026.
There's the whistle from Jorge Medina, and we are officially back underway for the second half here in Austin, Texas, along with our broadcast team, Jake Griffith. Glad to have you with us here at Palmer Field. Third and final meeting of the season between these two Western Conference foes. Austin FC in the top spot in the Western Conference, narrowly. Just a 1-point advantage over Portland Timbers and Houston Dynamo Dos. Portland Timbers getting a draw and a shootout win yesterday against LAFC, 0-0. Ended up winning that penalty shootout, a marathon penalty shootout, 8-7. T2 grabbed the extra point. Meanwhile, Houston Dynamo Dos made quick work of Real Monarchs. We talked about during our halftime report. They will be the next Western Conference team in action come next week, where they'll take on Minnesota United 2. Long ball over the top here from Evan Watt. Knocked down, but a whistle will sound, and Sporting Kansas City will have a free kick. Molinaro feeling some pressure, works it forward, clipped along by Zumir Loyo-Renaga. Former Sporting Kansas City Academy man, joined the Academy in 2023, signed to an MLS Next Pro deal in 2026. Specifically February of this calendar year. Meanwhile, here's Stefan Dobrijevic. He'll float this one along. And SKC2, again, good defensive structure. Able to nod that one back over to Jacob Molinaro. They've been able to frustrate Austin FC at times with that shape, that structure in front of the ball when out of possession. They go up the near touchline. That'll skip out of play. Verdos will quickly throw it back in. Here is Diego Abarca, trying to cut back inside, goes tumbling down, and will draw a whistle against Sporting Kansas City, and specifically Daniel Russo. Former Red Bull New York Academy defender is Daniel Russo. Spent some time with Red Bull New York's U19 side before spending a 4-year career at Notre Dame collegiately. Here's Abarca again. Abarca gives it up. Here's Ayala, puts it in front, deflected away. And out of play it goes for an Austin FC corner. Since that opening whistle of the second half, Verdos have been the initiators. And they are rewarded here with yet another corner. They had 3 of them in the opening 45. This will be their 4th of the night. They have the short option and Eric Feliciano hovering there on this ensuing corner. Whipped in, back post, nodded away by SKC2. Here's Barrow, loads up and fires that wide of the target. That box defending has come up big tonight for Sporting Kansas City too. Not allowing much in the way of touches in their own penalty area, rather. Just 10 surrendered to Austin FC2, and it's forcing Verdos to have to try their hand from distance a number of times, like that effort from Jacobaro moments ago. Meanwhile, here's Misael Rodriguez. Russo. He'll get it back. Now chips it along here. Blaine maybe spins it forward into the path of Rodriguez. Rodriguez tries to take on 2, maybe connects with it. Puts a shot in the vicinity of goal, but it will roll out again. Of Sporting Kansas City's now 6 shots in this contest. Half of them have found the target. Half of them have gone off the target. Mentioned box defending a minute ago for Sporting Kansas City. Well, Jason Shackle, Austin FC's manager, he has praised his team these last few weeks in terms of their ability to defend their own penalty area, specifically in that draw against San Jose Earthquakes. Now here comes Austin FC 2. Quickly combining to get forward. They'll change the angle of the attack, or at least attempt to. Deflect it around, and it falls to the feet of Ayala. Abarca now cuts back to his left. Abarca collides with the defender. We'll get a whistle here, and this will be more. Misael Rodriguez is going to get shown a yellow card for that foul right there. Just charging laterally, and you see at the end of it, Daniel Chishla taking real exception to that foul from Rodriguez on Abarca, who is still down in the midst of a crowd of bodies of Austin FC2 players.
Issue to number 96, Misael Rodriguez.
Third card that's come out in this contest from Jorge Medina. First one shown to Sporting Kansas City 2 as Rodriguez continues to plead his case to the assistant referee. These are two teams that are not afraid to get physical. Austin FC, they've surrendered 265 fouls coming into this contest. Sporting Kansas City 2, north of 220. It was a physical first half that saw 11 combined whistles. It hasn't dropped off in physicality here early on in the second 45. It sets Austin FC up with a real enticing opportunity here off the free kick. In the first half, they had a free kick that was taken by Adrian Gonzalez that forced Jacob Molinaro into quick action. Gonzalez has since come off. This time it'll be Abarca surveying, as well as Patrick Kaeli. Abarca will back off. It'll be Kaeli to take. Floats it back post, headed toward goal, but wide. A near training ground routine for Austin FC. That's a delightful service there. Just to that back post. Had free runners going right at Jacob Molinaro. Couldn't make anything happen with it, and we stay scoreless. Quickly restarted off the free kick by Austin FC. They're moving much faster in this second half than what they moved in the first half. Abarca. The service in, headed down, the save is made, and cleared away again. The Atlanta native, Jacob Molinaro, standing on his head in this contest, keeping SKC2 in it. Now rolled forward, looking for Ayala. Couldn't hang on to it. Whipped back down the pitch, though, by Jacobaro. Here's Diego Abarca. Abarca, his service in, ricocheting around, and finally rolls into the hands of Molinaro. Another turnover forced here by the home side. Verdos, they've had a real penchant for coming up with takeaways in the middle third of the pitch. Just haven't been able to turn those into offensive opportunities. Abarca shakes free of one would-be challenge. Now a second and a third as well. Slides it out wide. The advantage played briefly. Feliciano was dispossessed. It rolls out of play. Quickly thrown back in by Austin FC2. They are really tightening the screws these last few minutes. Flipped in front, chipped wide by Dobrijevic.
Substitution for Sporting KC2.
The offensive opportunities keep coming for Austin FC2. Weaving in and out and centering that ball to Stefan Dobrijevic. The frustration mounting, though, for number 21. You saw his reaction after the miss. Couldn't believe it. Meanwhile, SKC2 using that opportunity to make their first change of the night. Tega Ikoba, the former Portland Timbers homegrown, is on. Kashawn Hines, he's been the talisman for SKC2 this season, but held in check, will come off. Hines just 15 touches tonight. Only one shot. Austin FC2 defensively doing an outstanding job of handcuffing SKC2's leading scorer. This portion of the match is brought to you by Austin Energy, official partner of Austin FC2. It is Sporting Kansas City 2 now on the move. Misael Rodriguez on the left. Working on the defender, now rolls it laterally top of the area. It was a telegraphed move. And Austin FC2 coding that well defensively. Stefan Dobrijevic, number 21 in Verde and Black. His name's been called a lot tonight, but the way that he has been able to just move up and down the pitch, real box-to-box type of guy. He's dropping in so deep and then getting forward very quickly to try to run these balls down just like this. Here's Dobrijevic battling there. Pierre Leroux got a piece of it initially. Now Russo trying to knock Ayala off the ball. Ayala connecting with Abarca. It's been all Austin FC so far in this second half. 68% possession. Hard to believe they only have one official shot. It was a shot on target that was stymied by Jacob Molinaro. Jacobaro there to pick things up for Austin FC, who are retreating now. Work forward by Barry. Marcel Russell didn't like his options ahead. Peels it all the way back to Eric Loda. And now here's Chisla. Native of Chicago is Daniel Chisla. Ayala out wide. Here's Abarca. Abarca heading to the end line. Whips this ball all the way through. Feliciano will run it down before it rolls out of play. Tabaro. There's Chisla. Forward he goes. Abarca lays it off. Running onto it. Ayala, the cutback in front. Deflected out of play. It'll be a corner for Austin. Been no shortage of set-piece opportunities tonight for Verdos. Another good ball put across the face of goal, but dealt with by Sporting Kansas City. This will be the second corner of the second 45 minutes for Austin FC2. Twice this season they've scored off corners. Sporting Kansas City 2, this has been their Achilles heel. They've surrendered 7 corner goals. They go the short route into Feliciano. Looking for the link up on the restart. Russell. Over to Jacobaro as we come up on the hour mark elapsed here in Austin, Texas. Giving back up to Russell, now clipped in behind, trying to find Ayala. Donovan with it. Does come to rest out of play. That is where Jacob Molinaro will have another goal clearance for Sporting Kansas City 2, who have done so well defensively. It's been bend but don't break here in the second 45 minutes. They have been under the gun time and time again. That switching ball
will miss everyone for SKC2, and Loda will chase it down off his line. But if you're SKC2, you have to start thinking about offensive options going ahead. You've subbed on Tega Ikoba, who has 3 goals this year. He's the team's leader in shots on target per 90 minutes. Perhaps this will remedy some of those offensive woes. The turnover forced, maybe leading the way. Leo Renaga. Now Donovan hits this from distance, and it goes sailing high. Alita Santret, he wants the Sporting Kansas City 2 side to be a good counter-attacking team. They've been a good counter-attacking team in large junctures of the season. Saw in the first half they were able to generate a couple of dangerous counter-attacking opportunities. Not really the first one here of this second half. They come up with it, though, in the middle third again. Rodriguez probing around. This is the Sporting Kansas City 2 side who they came into this contest winners of back-to-back matches. Just their second win streak of 2 or more contests. Rather third since the start of the 2024 season. Here's Ikoba holding things up. Things starting to open up now here for Sporting Kansas City 2. Renaga rolls it forward. Options building for Donovan. Lays it off. The late arrival from Cunningham. Back to Donovan now. Maybe. Quintero. Back to Blaine Maybe. Whipped in, trying to pick out Ikoba, nodded away. Falls to Rodriguez, put back in front. Deflected by Austin, but not clear. Suddenly, what was the second half, it dominated by Austin. SKC2 roaring to life, but that pass out of the reach of Misael Rodriguez, and it rolls out of play. Verdos will walk this one forward. Here's Evan Watt now. From our Old Dominion LaSalle defender at the collegiate level. It's been his final college season at Old Dominion before joining this Austin FC2 side at the beginning of the season back in where to Barry. Barry, good ball played forward. The attack is on here for Austin. Trying to thread it through was Russell. Now turned aside by Sporting Kansas City. Ikoba. One of the things that Lee Tashantret had highlighted about the importance of bringing Tega Ikoba into this organization was his ability to hold up play. He draws a whistle, and since coming on, we have seen Ikoba show that real adept nature with his back to goal, waiting for those passing lanes to develop around him.
It's a yellow card presented to number 18, Patrick Kaeli for Austin FC2 in the 64th.
Patrick Kaeli shown a yellow at the end of all of that. That represents a third Austin FC2 player to be booked here in this contest. Over toward that near touchline, booted away. There was a whistle at the last moment, and it will be a free kick in favor of Austin FC. Looks like that ball took a deflection off the hand of a Sporting Kansas City 2 man. This portion of the match is brought to you by Woom, official partner of Austin FC2. Verdos back on the move now, working on that left flank. Trying to combine with Marcel Russell, heads to the end line. Russell goes slipping down. Appeals for a foul, unanswered by Jorge Medina, and it will be a Jacob Molinaro goal kick. Much to the dismay of Jason Shackle and Austin FC2. Shackle looking on there on the left side of your screen, appointed club's second ever manager back in December of 2025, took over for Brett Utley, who led the club to the MLS Next Pro title in their inaugural season back in 2023. That team was responsible for earning club record 12 wins in the regular season. This current Austin FC side's already surpassed that. Here's Jacobaro now stepping right up and knocking that away. Was SKC2 defensively. It was Blaine Mabey, the captain, but it's turned right back over by Sporting Kansas City 2. Barrow again, looking for the opening. This Austin FC2 side, mentioned just a moment ago how they've already set a new club record for wins in a single season with their 13 coming into this fixture. They eclipsed the 2023 squad with their win on the road at Vancouver, the 4-0 victory away. They are closing in on some history in MLS Next Pro as well. A win tonight would tie them for the 14th most in a single season in league history. It's not out of the question that they could get toward that 19-win plateau. Colorado Rapids back in 2023 and Crown Legacy back in 2023, both setting the league's record for wins in a single season. They would have to win 6 times over their final 7 matches in order to reach that mark, as Sporting Kansas City will make more changes, their second and third of the night, respectively. Ty Haas will come on, 16th appearance of the season for the 17-year-old. On to spell Shane Donovan. And Sam Worcester, the 16-year-old who played for the Sporting Kansas City U16s at the GA Cup, will come on for his 6th appearance. Lee Santret, he had highlighted the contributions of the young Sam Worcester earlier in the week when we caught up, says he's done really well with the opportunities that he's been given these last few weeks, deserving of more opportunities down the stretch of the season. Sporting Kansas City were in possession. There was a whistle, though, for a foul behind the play. It'll ultimately result in an Austin FC free kick. You see the aforementioned Lee Santret there over on that far touchline, demanding an explanation from 4th official Gloria Martinez Resendez. There's a Sporting Kansas City 2 player slow to get back to his feet. That is Zamir Loyal Renaga, who is down in that crowd of bodies. The Las Vegas natives play very well in this contest. Starting in that middle 3 of Blaine Mabey himself and Gael Quintero. 75 in light blue, back to his feet. He's not just earning opportunities for himself across the course of the season. With Sporting Kansas City 2, he's seen 2 short-term call-ups to the first team. And manager Rafael Vicky for Sporting Kansas City at the MLS level. Also called into international action earlier this year. Scored a goal against Japan at the Vlatko Markovic Invitational for the US U15s back in May. Austin FC will make their 3rd change of the night. Ibrahima Saul, who has a goal to his credit in 2026 against Sporting Kansas City 2, will come on for his 19th appearance of the campaign. Stefan Dobrijevic, his evening is done. We are back underway after the extended stoppage. Out that one spills. It will be a throw-in going the other way in favor of Sporting Kansas City 2. Just one shot since the second half started for SKC2. They've possessed the ball just 38%. They were able to withstand a strong burst of play from Verdos early on in this half as Maybe comes up with the interception to keep the attack on here for the visitors. Sporting Kansas City losing ground. Molinaro out wide. There's Worcester. Now they fling this one on and along. Change of possession will occur via the throw-in. As Chishla puts it back into play, there's a second ball on the field. Soccer's already a hectic enough sport with just one ball bouncing around out there. Don't need a second or a third. That's been rectified. Play back underway. Jules Barry tries to roll it along and instead commits the turnover. This portion of the match is brought to you by St. David's Healthcare, official and exclusive healthcare partner of Austin FC2. Also the namesake of the St. David's Performance Center, the home of all things Austin FC, opened in 2021. A great venue here for this Austin FC2 MLS Next Pro side. I remember chatting with former manager Brett Utley last year, and he likened it, especially when they have those big raucous crowds that come out that they've had a tendency to generate over the last few seasons. He likened it to a mini Q2 stadium, like what the first team plays in. Also the home of the MLS Next All-Star Game a season ago. Booted along, cut out though by SKC2. Maybe turns, whips this one ahead. Looked like a foot race would ensue. Rodriguez elects to pull back, and that will roll out. Daniel Chishla will throw it back in. The Chicago native, Daniel Chishla, got the start tonight, his 10th of the season. He's gone the distance so far and played some important roles along that back in terms of clearances, interceptions. Now in his second season with Austin FC, who concede the throw-in to Sporting Kansas City, too. Mentioned his home city of Chicago. Chicago Fire and former U.S. men's national team manager Greg Berhalter in action in the Leagues Cup tonight. Robert Turdine, Chicago Fire 2, MLS Next Pro product, getting his first career start for Chicago Fire. Just 16 years old, becomes the youngest starter in club history. And that was something that I had a chance to chat with Lee Tesantret about earlier in the week, about MLS Next Pro, its piece in development of young talent. We've seen for Philadelphia Union, Kevin Sullivan continuing to turn heads, had an assist for Philadelphia Union in the Leagues Cup tonight. More on that in a moment. Austin FC, they'll cut this top of the area. Ayala chips it out wide. And that is where Sporting Kansas City will run that ball down. Looking just for a release option here. Akoba almost turns it over, and now Loyal Renaga does. Ayala forcing the issue. Clipped along, headed away. And again, Austin FC able to come back up with that ball. Their counter press has been the most important thing that they've excelled in tonight. When they lose that ball, they are immediately up in the faces of Sporting Kansas City. And more often than not, they've won it right back. Here's Abarca on the right. Feeds Chishla, who funnels it low. Ayala, Chishla, Abarca. Here's Abarca now, looking for the give and go. Back to Abarca from Saul. Abarca trying to run it down, and out across the end line it goes. Another bend but don't break situation defensively for Sporting Kansas City. They've had a number of them tonight, continuing to hold firm. Going back to my conversation, though, with Lee Tesantret about youth development and why young players are so much more adept at being plugged into the first-team environment. And he really did credit the existence of MLS Next Pro for preparing these players. And he said, at least at Sporting Kansas City, there's almost a directive organizationally that if the coaching staff feels they're ready, then they give them the opportunity to go. MLS, at least at the senior team level, they are on pace to have their highest share of U21 minutes played in at least a decade. There's been a real youth movement in Major League Soccer in 2026, and that has trickled down to MLS Next Pro. Here's Misael Rodriguez working on that left side. Slides it back over. Loyal Renaga goes diagonal with it. Took a deflection, still possessed by SKC. Clipped in toward Akoba, headed away, and maybe will nod it back out wide. You are seeing so many young players in MLS Next Pro, though, have productive seasons. KK Spivey for San Jose Earthquakes 2. Benji Flowers recently became a young homegrown signing for FC Dallas. Got his first career professional start a few weeks ago for North Texas, who were victorious in a big way last night against Tacoma Defiance, halting their 4-match win streak. Davion Kimbrough got his first professional goal, and we get a whistle here for a foul. Evan Watt shown a yellow as Tega Akoba taken down. That's the 4th Austin FC player to be handed a yellow. It's Misael Rodriguez, the offseason acquisition, coming over from the San Jose Earthquakes organization, the Town FC, now known as Quakes 2. 14 goal involvements last year, has 24 in his career. Rodriguez will float this out wide, racing in, but deflected out of play by Pierre Leroux. Substitution window is open, and Sporting Kansas City will elect to use their final 2 changes of this contest. On comes Jack Franca, the 16-year-old Missouri native, and he is joined by Johan Ortiz. Alex Cunningham, who turned in a very, very, very strong shift in his 3rd start over at that right back spot. He will step off the pitch. Austin FC making a change as well as Patrick Grishevsky, the former Rhode Island man of the NCAA level, trots on. The evening is done for Eric Feliciano. 1 change left to make for Jason Shackle. Sporting Kansas City 2. They are out of changes. The counter is on here. Akoba comes up with it. Now Loyal Renaga. Loyal Renaga ridden down, and he's whistled for a foul. Austin FC, a little casual with it, playing out of their own end. Bailed out, though, by the foul committed by Loyal Renaga. Long, direct ball forward. Not it down. It falls right at the feet of Ibra Salt. SKC2 couldn't wrap their foot around that clearance. It's possessed by Ayala. He has played so well. First start of 2026 for Christian Ayala. Now touch toward goal. Saul wasn't in a position to receive that ball in. Abarca gives it up. Here's Jacobaro. over these last few minutes, Sporting Kansas City too, they have been adept at jumping into those passing lanes, picking out where that ball's going to go. They come up with another turnover again as Leo Renaga works it out wide. They have Misael Rodriguez ahead. They find him. Rodriguez leading the way in, trying to find Ikoba. Knocked down, corralled in by Maybe. Maybe goes wide with it. Stepping in, it falls back to Blaine. Maybe whistles wide of the near post and out. Easily the best spell of possession Sporting Kansas City have had in this second half. Blaine Maybe can't believe it. That's a situation you have to put that ball on target. Lifted forward, Saul nods it down, trying to track it down is Austin FC. No foul given, says Jorge Medina. Rodriguez able to spin away from pressure for a moment. The interception by Chisla though. Barrow to Russell. Wrestling there with Blaine Maybe, and Marcel Russell shown a whistle. Sporting Kansas City, too, we're trying to get that ball put back in on the restart. There was a whistle from Jorge Medina, and now they do restart play. Quickly under pressure, though. Another turnover forced by Austin. Lining this one up, but sailing it wide was Saul. Sporting Kansas City 2, they can breathe a sigh of relief. Turning it over in your own defensive half against this Austin FC side is typically a recipe for disaster. They come away unscathed. Whipped forward now. Here's Saul on it. Has options. It's a Barca. There's a whistle, though. It'll be a yellow shown by our center referee. It also gives Austin FC a free kick. This has been where they have made their money in 2026. Not just set pieces, but specifically free kicks, as they'll make their final change of the night just before. The 32nd overall pick out of Duke in this most recent Super Draft. Cannon Hot will come on. Nyala, after such a good 83 minutes turned in, will come off. Meanwhile, Pierre Leroux was shown yellow. Kaeli stands over this ball 5 times in 2026. Austin FC have scored off free kicks. It's from some distance, but the angle straight on. Kaeli floats this wide, headed back across goal. Clearance flubbed initially and now hammered clear by Sporting Kansas City. Here's Loda hanging out right at that halfway line. The offside flag will come up from the near assistant referee, and that'll end it for Austin FC. It's a real summation of the day at the office offensively for Verdos. You have 6 shots in this second half alone. 6 touches in the penalty area and almost 60% possession, and yet you only have 1 shot on target and no goals to show for it. Ikoba had it for a moment, short-lived. Here's Loda feeling the heat, has to just turn that one out of play. And SKC2 will charge all the way back down. They'll have a throw in here. Inside the final 5 now, plus stoppage time to go here in regulation. Clipped along forward by SKC. Knotted down, though, by Austin FC. And Jacobaro, a player who Jason Shackle complimented for his ability to handle the ball in tight spaces. Able to help Austin put that ball forward, but Diego Abarca commits the foul. Abarca's been involved in a lot since subbing on here in this second half for Austin FC 2, but just has not been able to help unlock the offense the way Jason Shackle was hoping when they brought him and his 5 goals on. Long ball cut out by Jacobaro again. Now works it into the path of Abarca. Abarca trying to weave past Worcester. Staying in lockstep with him is the 16-year-old. And you see why Lee Tesantret praised his young Sporting Kansas City Academy defender for the hard work he's turned in these last few weeks. Staying right in stride with Diego Abarca. The possession is still on, though, here for Austin FC 2. Backtracking, they find Watt. Here's Chishla. Abarca stops, starts, heads to the end line, squares this ball, knocked away, out of play. It'll be a throw deep in toward this final third for Verdos. Chuck back into play. Falls at the feet of Ibrasol. Worked along to Abarca. Quickly gives it up. Here's Watt. Chip back ahead. Jacobaro trying to change the angle of the attack now for Austin FC. They've been trying to create overloads on the right-hand side these last 5-10 minutes. Haven't been able to do so as successfully as they would like. Hot. Handcuffed a bit over on that far touchline. The ball pops free. It's Austin FC with it now. Combining out wide. Shuffling to the end line. Trying to find the angle for the service. Was Hot. Hammered away. Reshevsky was in the area for Verdos. And instead, they'll switch this all the way back over to their netminder in Eric Loda. Former American East Keeper of the Year during his time at New Hampshire collegiately. Space to move now for Austin FC. They lay it off. Swung over. It's Abarca on the right. Puts it all the way through. It's in! Off the bench and on the score sheet, Ibrahima Sow surges Austin in front late. 1-0. Just a well-worked ball here by Diego Abarca. They tried that cutback from the right side numerous times. Sporting Kansas City had cleared it away time and again, but not that time. The super substitute, Ibrahima Sow, his second goal against SKC this year. And none more important on the campaign for Ibrahima Sow. A player that Jason Shackle said earlier this week, his favorite thing about him is that he just brings energy for this team. He's key in not just winning the ball, but scoring goals for Austin FC 2. Jason Shackle speaking it into existence. Ibrahima Sow, in the late stages of this Sunday night clash, might have just won it for Austin FC 2. There was a whistle for a foul as Saul was taken down. 4 minutes of stoppage time, according to our fourth official.
Scored by number 22, Ibrahima Saul.
Press bears fruit again, at least initially, for Austin FC2. Sporting Kansas City able to clean the mistake up, though. Still time here for SKC2, who've played so well this evening, to find an equalizer late in this match. Maybe the switching ball. SKC2 able to pull that ball down. It's Ty Haas with it now. Haas and SKC are in business. That one leaks out. Jumping on it, though, is Keenan Hott, and he will turn this all the way upfield. Rodriguez barking out orders. Tried to send that service in. Instead, sent it right at Eric Loda. Hasn't been as busy of a man in the second half as he was in the first half. Faced 3 shots in the opening 45. None so far here in this second half. That tells the story of the night for Sporting Kansas City 2. Lee Tesantret said this week that our recent results not indicative of how we've played. This long ball in, looking for Ikoba, nodded away from him. Franca able to run that one down, and now Haas will catch up with it, but the flag comes up. Tesantret said, though, that their recent results just not indicative of how Sporting Kansas City have played these last few weeks. He's been very positive on the development this last month of his team. One of the biggest areas, he said, is in terms of development. Part of development is finding a way to win games. You have to start putting teams away when given the opportunity. And in that first 45, Sporting Kansas City had opportunities, 3 to be exact, that they could not find the back of the goal. And if this contest ends up dragging to the conclusion, a 1-0 result in favor of Austin FC, I have to imagine SKC will be going home kicking themselves that they didn't convert one of those chances in the opening half. Would have been a much different ball game. Funneled back down by Jacobaro. Austin FC able to steer clear of the defense initially. They tuck it back inside. Ibrasol lays it off. It's Keenan Hott right at Molinaro, who makes the save, his 3rd. Whipped back down again by Austin FC. Who else but Ibrasol in the area? Maybe. Ferguson volleys it wide. Here's Haas. Haas shuffling to the byline. His service took a deflection on its way through. Life yet for Sporting Kansas City 2. A corner right at the conclusion of the 4 minutes of second half stoppage time. Likely the final kick of the contest. The net is empty for SKC. Molinaro in the area. Floated in to the mixer, headed down, put towards goal, and deflected out of play. The most important save of the night for Eric Loda. Unbelievable. Tega Ikoba on the doorstep. Funneled it back in off the corner, goes off the woodwork, and stays out. And that'll do it in Austin, Texas. Verde and Black take a breather, withstanding a furious comeback effort at the death from Sporting Kansas City 2.
and they hang on for all 3 points. Wouldn't be possible without the efforts of tonight's man of the match, presented by Adidas. It is none other than Ibrahim Asal, subbing on in the second half and slotting it high past Jacob Molinaro for his 4th goal of the season. Ibrahim Asal and Austin FC2 riding high, back in the win column for the first time in 3 matches. Our final, 1-0 in favor of Austin FC. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, I'm Jake Griffith. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long at MLSNextPro.com. And OneFootball, good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.